Hey guys, this should be our last 2-hour class. Crushing it. A lot of notes waiting for you boys. I'm going to stop my camera in case you are watching this video, which you should because review is always good. On time, right on time. There we go.
Hey.
Hey, Josh, what's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good.
Any word on Steve? Did he get his test done?
Yeah, he did the test. I think yesterday he said, and
Okay.
I don't think he's heard back yet. So.
Oh, really? So they don't know? They don't have results like reasonably quick?
I don't think so. No, probably takes maybe a couple days. Maybe I don't know how that works. But.
Right. Well, here he comes. So hopefully we can get an answer. See how he's feeling, anyways. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, he's on the drive.
Hey.
All right. Hey, Steve, how you feeling, buddy?
Hey man, I'm just feeling about the same, honestly. Not like 100%, but
Yeah.
I'm a little probably about the same, honestly. Not better or worse. So about
But
the same.
I heard from Josh that you did get a chance to get a test done.
What a fiasco that was, but I was able to get it done. 6 hours of waiting. We finally got it done.
6 hours. Woo.
When you say
Yeah.
6 hours of waiting, like you mean you were in line to wait?
No. I was in the car for 3 hours. Then I went out there and I said, hey man, how much longer is it gonna take? We've been here for 3 hours. I know you guys said about 3 hours. So
Yeah.
the 6-year-old's getting hungry. And they're like, oh my God, I'm sorry. We're really backed up. It could be another couple of hours. Why don't you go ahead and leave and we'll call you. And I'm like, yeah, couldn't tell me that at 8 o'clock this morning when I signed in.
Yeah, no kidding. So
I'm sorry, man. I'm driving back to the shop. But
no worries. So yeah, I mean
so yeah, they find like 2 hours later, now 5 hours, called me and said, go ahead and come in, we'll triage you. So we drove back, we sat in the car, the doctor came out to the car, they triaged us. They said, okay, it'll be another few more minutes.
Yeah.
A few more minutes turned into about 45 more minutes. And then finally they came out and freaking swab our noses and they said, okay, we'll learn about 3 or 4 days, we'll get the results back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You couldn't, just done that at 8 o'clock in the morning when I got here?
Yeah, no kidding.
It's a bad system, man. I don't know, how they can do to improve it, but a very bad system.
But I mean, for you right now, you're obviously, at least you're up and about. You're not on a respirator, and everybody else in the family is okay.
So far, everybody's okay. Really, the one that I'm worried about is our 6-year-old. I don't know if I ever told you, but she has a heart condition, and she's going to need heart surgery eventually.
Zoe does?
Zoe, yeah. Aww. Yeah, she has what's called SVT, something ventricular tachycardia, some crap like that. Basically, her heart goes into a really, really high heartbeat, like 180, 200 heartbeats per minute. Jeez. And it won't go away until you got to put her in an IV, and they shoot these 2 different medicines into her IV, and then it finally goes down back to normal. It's happened 3 times to her already. And the only way to fix it is to do surgery, and they got to go in. It's not a major surgery, but at the end of the day, it's heart surgery. So I don't care.
And it's invasive. It's invasive
exactly.
For sure.
They go in through her up in here and then through her growing.
Yeah.
And they find out, they aggravate the heart, find out what chamber, or not chamber, but whatever electrical.
Yeah, the ventricle issue. Yeah.
And they burn it, and done. She's done.
Okay.
But unfortunately, she does have to have that surgery, and we just don't want her getting sick, man. It's not like a major thing, but
yeah.
She's on medicine, heart thinner, or I think it's heart thinners. Yeah. She's
or
on
blood thinners.
Blood thinners. Sorry, blood thinners.
Yeah. Wow.
But in any case, she's okay, man. She's not sick. Really, it's Jennifer and I, my wife and I. Otherwise, they're not feeling good.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it's said that the little people have a way to be able to, you know, stave this off a lot easier than those of us that are a little bit older. So that still doesn't mean that you know, people are impervious to it, because that's not the way that it goes. But
Yeah, it sucks because she was supposed to have the surgery now in June, July. But with everything freaking going on, now we got to wait. You know, we're trying to wait a couple of months to see if things aren't getting better. We've had a record-setting number yesterday.
What for cases?
Corona, yeah. Yesterday was a record-setting day, I guess, for Florida. 5,000 cases in one day.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Like, are you freaking kidding me?
Wow.
So I don't know what we're gonna do as far as her surgery is concerned. So we'll try to get it done when we can. That's all we can do, man. Sucks. But in any case,
how many? Yeah, I mean, you know what you onward and upward, guys. I mean, you seem that you know, for a guy who's not at 100%, Steve, you're certainly at a higher level of energy than what most people are. So
yeah. No, I think it's affecting people just differently, man. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Luckily, hopefully, this is the worst for me and Jennifer. Just, you know, the headache and the coughing and the no smell or taste. That's the weird part, man. It's like brushing my teeth in the morning. It's like I feel like I'm brushing my teeth with water. I can't taste anything. You know.
You got no mint. That's bizarre.
So weird, man. Yeah. Nothing. So
wow.
But other than that, you know, we're not bad. Honestly, we're not like in bed or, like you said, on a respirator or anything like that.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, how have you been open for the last couple of days? Were you open yesterday? And obviously you're heading to the shop now.
Yeah, my wife's at the shop now because she's had to get tested. They don't want her going back until she tests is negative. So she came to the shop so that I can drop off this bike.
Okay.
And poor thing, we have cameras, and Josh knows we have cameras that I can hear. And on my way home, I can hear that she had a customer trying to buy a latch. And what ended up happening was, well, she said something like, well, why are your bikes more expensive than other brands? You know, and poor thing, she didn't know what to say. You know, I can hear her saying something about, you know, the warranty and the quality of the bike, and that you're buying from local, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Certainly not the first person to mention this to me.
That's it.
There you go, man. What do you compare it to?
That's totally it. So for you guys over the last 4 sessions, and you know, this is session 5, do you guys feel that you've learned a lot and gotten some value out of this?
Definitely.
Terrific. How about you, Steve?
Yeah, Cassidy called me yesterday.
Can you hear him, Josh?
Man, I told him I did it.
Breaking up.
So.
Hey, you know what, Steve? You totally broke up there. So you were obviously in some kind of tunnel or stairwell. So I didn't hear what you said. You were all broken up.
Okay, I should be getting out of the elevator soon.
Okay.
You can hear me.
Are you getting in an elevator?
Yes.
All right. We'll wait till you're yeah, because now it's really breaking up. You're frozen. Yeah, he's gone. He's there, but he's not.
Yeah.
So for you, Josh, we'll wait till Steve's out of the how far deep in the basement are you guys parked from your floor? Oh, there he is. He's out. So maybe a couple floors.
Yeah.
How big is the building?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Sorry, man. I was in the elevator.
Yeah, no sweat. How big is that? Just a parkade, or is the retail space in the same building?
It's in the same building. It's just we get to park with the parking garage, which is nice. I don't know if you can see here. This is the shopping. It's kind of like a shopping center.
Yeah.
So you got a clothing store here, Downtown Dogs that makes about $2 million a year. I can't freaking believe that. Then you got us right here.
Right.
Beauty salon type deal there, jewelry store over there. Some little store type thing over there. That space all the way in the end's empty. So you can see the little turn where those people are walking. That's our from right here over there, and then I lose them. You know what I mean? So that's what I was telling you. We got a
I
little short
see.
spot.
But still, there's Zoe.
Hey.
So that's our spot there.
Yeah, you've still got a great little mini spin area. Like that's a perfect little spot. Just drive up, ride up, turn around, bring it back. Okay, let's go.
Exactly. You know.
And it would. I can see now what you mean. Like it from what you just showed me with your phone, it would seem pretty logical that you're going to have quite a bit of foot traffic of people that are curious.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I was going to say that it seems to me pretty logical that you're going to have a lot of people walking past and a lot of foot traffic of people that are curious about e-bikes. Did you get frozen up there, Steve? Yeah.
Yep.
It's all right. I might have lost him completely.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'll have to just check to see when he hops back in. I'll move this out of the way. So how about you, Josh? Like for you over the last Zoom calls, have you felt that you've learned things that are going to help you do a better job at selling?
Oh, definitely.
Nice.
I know this,
good.
All these, I've been looking over the notes and stuff, and
Good.
just repetitive, trying to get it down, trying to repeat it, trying to make sure.
And that's just it. It's you're going to get better at it with repetition. It's something that this is a practice. So if you and Steve decide that, hey, you know what we need to do is stay in touch with Joe and maybe get involved in the dojo on a weekly basis, like you can talk to Steve about that. I've got other Pedego stores that do that. They hop in, and it's only 30 minutes a week.
Okay.
But what we do is it's practice, and you get to hear not only just what other Pedego stores are doing, but I deal with a lot of people in sales, and it's important to continue to practice. I mean, this sales training was, hey man, here's the Joe Marcoux library, and drink what you can, right? It's like, because it's a lot of information. So it's not uncommon for people to do this more than once with me. I mean, I've had some people do it 3 times, 4 times, just because they'll say, hey man, did you mention that last time? And sometimes I've added more stuff, and then sometimes I've mentioned something that I do every time, but it's just because there's just so much of it, right? So, Steve, are you there, buddy?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see. There we go.
There he is.
Sorry, man.
No, it's all good, bro.
Technical difficulties, man.
we got this right here, right in the cradle, baby. We got this. All right, so let's start rocking and rolling with again. I'm a big believer in quick reviews just to get everything back into the subconscious mind, and again in no particular order. So I'm going to unplug some of my stuff from my laptop and do what Steve was doing and walk you guys through it. So moving my stand. So up top, we talked about how email is you can have social media, and social media is swipe culture. Email is personal. So social is social, email is personal. So when you're doing email follow-up, you can get people to read and they have more of an idea in terms of what you're all about. You want to be able to get them on the phone, on a Zoom call, or in the store, which is why you want to have the importance of having your calendar. And a busy calendar is a good thing. An empty calendar is the devil. So you need to always make sure that your calendar is busy as you go forward, because having a busy calendar means that you're not spending time watching YouTube videos and other stuff. You want to maintain your busyness. And when you're doing videos yourself with your client base, or even your renters and people that are on tours, and you finish it up, you ask their permission to post, and you post it all in one place. I mean, you can post it on YouTube, but then anything you put to YouTube, you can put on Instagram TV, and then chop it up into smaller pieces to put it up on Facebook, Instagram, Yelp, and so on. LinkedIn, I've talked about it. I've said it over and over. LinkedIn is no longer just about resumes. Your customer, you'll see if they were on LinkedIn or they are on LinkedIn. It's a powerful social media platform right now, as is TikTok. TikTok is a completely different age range, but TikTok just recently had invested $15 million on one hashtag called Learn on TikTok. So if you do hashtag Learn on TikTok, how to shop for an electric bike, all you do is you take that TikTok video and you put it up on all the other social media platforms, right? You just do it once and repurpose it. Don't try to do 10 different things for 10 different platforms. Repurpose your life that make it easy. Like what I do, Social Powerhouse makes it easy. It's $10 a month, and I can put it out there. All of this stuff leads to social proof. So it's like, hey, Josh, congratulations for buying your Pedego electric bike. I hope you enjoy it. Before you go, can I take a quick video with you in front of your new bike? All right. So, hey, everybody, I'm Joe Marcoux. I'm with Pedego Tampa. I'm with our newest family member, Josh. Josh, say hello to everybody. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, so Josh, then you ask the question, why did you buy this bike? And I showed you guys that video that I did with Pedego Alpharetta where the woman said, oh, it was you guys?
Yep.
Right? And then I did the exact same thing with her. It was like, hey, can you name me one person who, right? And so we did 2 videos. One with, let's let everybody know she bought a bike. Why'd you buy it? And then 2, she says, hey, Judy, you got to buy this bike or an electric bike from Pedego. So as much content that you can do, throw it up on social proof. Then what you want to do is you want to do follow-up. Like, who's your customer? And we defined your customer as 55% women, 45% men, mostly retired, 60 years old. They're couples. They live close by. They're affluent. They're making about $200,000 a year. They've ridden, about 10% have ridden an e-bike before, and most of them have health issues. Earlier today, I was dealing with another bike shop, and their average customer is about 50 years old. So they're on the 50-50 scale, so about 50, on a scale of 1 to 10, their customer is about a 5. They ride, but they don't have as many health issues yet, but it's coming. I mean, a guy my age who's almost 50, I don't have the, get up and go like I used to have when I was in my mid-20s. So, you do what you can. And that's what's great about, I make the joke, an electric bike is the most fun that you'll have on 2 wheels. Or I'll tell people, an e-bike is like a bike on Viagra. And people go, and I go, hey, you know what? You're going to go longer and you're going to have more fun. And people just crack up laughing, right?
That's a good one.
Feel free to use it, boys. You got to have fun with this, right? And that's, again, player A game, measure your metrics. You either do it manually, measure with your daily metrics counter, and just for fun. Hey, you know what, folks? Just for fun, hop on. Let's go. Never ask somebody, would you like to take a test ride? Because people are programmed to say no.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna ask, do you want to try one? They're gonna say no. It's, hey, you know what? Just for fun, come with me. Let's go. Remember that we only have 168 hours a week. Whether it's Josh, whether it's Steve, whether it's me. So we gotta leverage our time, which is why you're gonna leverage your time with social media. The more of this that you could quickly use and put it out there, the better. The more that you could use social proof, the more that you're going to be able to build momentum. And money and success like speed. So use that to your advantage. You're in an electric bike store, crank it up, use a throttle, or put your pedal assist a little higher, and let's use the speed. I talked about the importance of putting up a map. So use your map, put up a grid in terms of, hey, from this radius, it's free, then it's 100, 200, and 300. If you haven't done it yet, guys, you absolutely have to make a point of saying, hey, one of us has to get a map, and we're just going to use a geometry set and do it, because you're just going to add value to people in terms of every time you make a sale, right? Yeah. You could be prepared to say at $200, that $200 range, you're already prepared to go for free, but you can let people know, go, you know what, usually that's $200. If you do it right now, I'll tell you what, I'll throw it in, right? I used to do that all the time in my fitness store with treadmills and bikes, and it made all the difference in the world. Up here, talk about cut to the chase. Got to remember, guys, that even when you do the mini spin, where after I acknowledge somebody and then, hey, folks, be with you in a quick moment, after 10 seconds, and I go, hey, first time in the store? How did you hear about us? You ever ride a Pedego before? No? Awesome. Just for fun, come with me. I walk a bike out, one of my 3 bikes that I've chosen that are ready to go, batteries inside, so you don't have to mess around and have to go get a battery and everything. The batteries and the bikes better be ready to go, and then all you do is just click, turn it on, ride it out, and do your mini spin yourself. Downshift the bike to the proper level, and then you come back and you go, okay, hop on, just for fun, it's your turn. And then you stand in front of the bike and you grab their information so that you can do follow-up and then let them go. All right. Oh, we fell, Steve. And then once you've done that, then you're going to ask them 5 or 6 questions. And the questions are, who's it for? Who else is going to use it? Don't assume that the person that's in the store is the one that's buying the bike for themselves. It could be a gift. It could be, I'm doing research for my significant other. You never know. So you want to be able to make sure that the product is appropriate for who the person's the bike is actually for. Who's it for? Who else is going to use it? How are you going to use it? Is it for fun? Is it for fitness? Is it for rehab? Is it for using to commute to work? And again, if they say, yeah, I'm using it we're using it because we're not buying a second car. Great. So where do you work? And you start building the relationship based on that. Who's it for? Who else is going to use it? How are you going to use it? Where are you going to ride it? Is it dirt? Is it paved? Is it gravel? Is it a fire road? Is it trail? Is it single track? Find out. How long is your typical ride going to be? How many miles or how much time? And you can talk about the benefits of using the 15 amp hour battery versus the 10. Then you can get into, okay, so are you planning on riding alone, or are you going to ride with a group and talk about the virtues of the Pedego owners group? This is why all of these questions are called your discovery, so that you can discover how you can peel away the layers of all these other bikes that you have to offer and come down to either or best, better, good, right? And then you want to ask the health question, right? Because our customer has health issues. So based on that, you want to go, well, before I put you on the appropriate bike or bikes, are there any physical issues that I need to know about, such as ankles, knees, hips, spine, heart, or lung? I always go ankles, knees, hips, spine, heart, or lung. And then they're going to say something or not. Awesome. Based on what you just told me, I've got a couple of options for you just for fun. Come with me. This bike is the appropriate bike for you. Get them on the bike, give them the basic rundown, and tell them, I want you to get out of here and ride for 5, maybe 10 minutes, depending on how much time you have. And that's the other thing about the popcorn effect. What we want is, based on how busy we are, if you find that you're really busy, tell them, take off for 10 minutes. If you're not busy, take off for 5 minutes. And then the next group, you tell them, if the first group went off for 5, you tell the next group, take off for 10. And the next group, and then if you find that you have time, you want everybody to kind of come. The next group, you might say, you know what? You guys, because there's nobody else who's walked in and the first group didn't come back yet, yeah, take off for 5 minutes again. Now you'll have 3 groups of people showing up at the same time. And if you get one of them to pop, they'll all go. Because then what you say, hey, you know what? I'll be right back with you folks. And then you go over to Josh. And Josh, yeah, this is cool. We're just going to take a look and we're trying to figure out which color. Yeah, no problem. We'll be right back. I go over to Steve. So Steve, what do you think? You want to take it? Yeah, awesome. Hey, Josh, Adam, Camry, tell you what, guys, I'm going to be with you in a quick sec. Steve just decided to buy this one. And I'm just going to go and write some stuff up for him, but I'll be right back with you. And then I leave. Now what happens is Steve is alone in a group of people that are thinking about buying it, but Steve has just made the decision. What do you think is going to happen with the salesperson out of the way?
They're going to talk about buying the bike they're renting.
You damn right. So whether they're renting it or they're thinking about buying it, they're going to come up to you if you're the buyer, and they're going to go, you're buying one? And then you're not a salesperson. You're just a person who's excited about, who's just been, congratulations, Steve, you just made the right decision. And what's Steve going to do? He's going to tell everybody, dude, I've been researching this. I want to get one for my own, blah, 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 blah. And that's going to get them to go, you know what? We should do it too. And I've done that in my career. That's how I sold 27 bikes in 4 hours. That's how some of my clients, the record is 42 bikes in 4 hours. And it wasn't me. It was people that are better salespeople. I just coached them, which great. That's what I want for you. I want you guys to beat the 42 number. Yeah. So again, just because you can do it, guys. No bullshit. You can absolutely do it. So just because somebody's gone for a mini spin, they've literally gone 20 yards, they've turned back and they've come back and they've got this incredible, oh my God, grin on their face. You can say, hey, what do you think? You like it? And they go, oh my God, I love it. Awesome. Do you want to take it? Yeah. You might get 1 out of 10 or 10 out of 100 that say yes. Now you're going to get probably 90 out of 100 go, whoa, how much is this? And that kind of thing. That's fine. But if you don't cut to the chase, you'll never save yourself time. So ask. And again, even the renter, and before I actually got on the call, I sent you the renter to buyer script. And I'll show you that right now, guys. I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah, I saw an email come through.
Yeah. So I'm going to share this with you, sir. Let me go over to, sorry guys, I thought I had this set up. Clearly I didn't, but that's okay. And I've got follow-up tools, renter to sale. So this is what would happen. This is your script. I sent this over to you guys. Can you guys see this okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's your flow chart. So somebody who's rented a bike from you, they've gone for an hour, they've gone for the day, and it's like they come back and say, hey, so how was your day? And they're going to say, you know, as if they say it sucked, I mean, I'd be shocked. So they're going to say, oh, it was great. Awesome. Did you enjoy the bike? Yeah. Any issues with the bike at all? And, you know, they're going to say, no. And then you're going to say, well, of course not. They're very reliable, right? So you're planting the seed of the quality of the bike. And then, hey, just a quick question. Can you imagine riding one of these back home? Wouldn't that be awesome? If they say yes, go this way, and you make an irresistible offer. If they say no, take the money, end of transaction, thanks for coming, and they should already be into your rental automated email sequence. So again, you know, I have to ask the question, Steve, what are you doing right now for follow-up with anybody and everybody? What are you doing for follow-up?
0.
Okay. So
0 follow-ups.
all right. So
Nothing.
one of the things that you got to consider is whether it's with us or you creating your own, which I can tell you, like, you're going to be busy as hell, and it's
I'm about 99% sure I'm going to do the lead cycles.
yeah. And with I'm glad to hear it. You get to try it for 3 months. If you don't like it after 3 months, we give you 100% of your money back. Like I know how good it is, and I know it'll work. All you have to do is just follow suit. So in this case, if somebody doesn't buy, you've already got them in a rental waiver. The waiver, I don't care where the waiver comes from. As long as you've got them in your follow-up funnel, what will happen is right after they're done their rental, they'll get an email, and it'll be, hey Josh, thanks for renting with us over at Pedego Tampa today. On a scale of 1 to 5 stars, how would you rate your experience with us? That 1 to 5 star, and obviously it's going to be 4 or 5 star rating, it'll go automatically to TripAdvisor, because a rental is an experience, and that goes to TripAdvisor. A test ride or a purchase goes to Google reviews, right? So we've set it up so that we have sequences of emails based on where your person has come in from. We've automated it so it goes, okay, you're a renter, you're going to go into TripAdvisor, and then they get email, until, and then they can choose to unsubscribe. But what's neat is if somebody's from out of state, they'll get an email. The first email is, what did you think of your experience? And then the next email is, we're gonna continue to make the irresistible offer because they're from out of state. And how much is your state tax? So give you an example. If you're live and in person, can you imagine riding one of these bikes back home? Wouldn't that be awesome? If they say yes, you make the irresistible offer. And so this is how it would sound. So tell me, can you imagine riding one of these back home? Yeah. Oh, awesome. So tell me a little bit about where you visited today. And they expound on that a little bit. Hey, so imagine if I could apply the rental cost of this bike today, and I can apply it to the purchase of the bike. Would that be interesting for you? Would you be interested? And if I could apply if I could apply the rental fee of the price of this bike, would that interest you? Now imagine if I could also, and allow them to answer. Imagine if you didn't have to pay the shipping of $200 to your home. Would that interest you to take it? And then, what state are you from? And they'll tell you. And so I would ask them, what is the state tax there? Right here. What's the state tax there? So if somebody says, I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable for somebody to say 5%, right? Like if you have a $3,000 bike times 5%, that's $150 plus the $200 in shipping plus your rental. You see, Steve, you're trying to come in a different way.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm on my phone and I can't see very well on my phone. So
oh, okay. Yeah, no sweat, bro.
Come in through the computer and still use my phone for audio.
So what right now, if the way that I see it, you're going to save your client on a $29.99 Interceptor, for example, at 5% on tax plus the shipping plus, you're saving them close to $500, right? Like that to me makes things very interesting for somebody to make a decision. And it's not to say that, I think I've had this conversation with you guys before. If you want to have somebody who's from out of state, and you may know that they're from California, there's plenty of Pedego stores there, but there's no guarantee that they're actually going to buy from another Pedego store. So I believe it is your obligation to sell them. You've spent money to attract them to your place of business. You've spent time, which is worth money, in terms of servicing them and getting them to consider to buy a Pedego. You might as well do the next thing and help them decide. So it's attraction, consideration, decision. You've got the skills, guys. I mean, we've gone over this. So this is what's great. Again, using that power word, imagine, right? I mean, look at how many times I put it in this script, right? Can you imagine riding one of these back home? Imagine if I could apply the rental cost to the purchase of the bike, right? Imagine if I could also save you the shipping costs. Now, imagine if you bought this in your home state, what would its state tax be? So if I make you this irresistible offer, would you like to own this now? You'll also save the cost of state tax, the rental fee, and the shipping, easily about $500 or more. Do you want to take advantage of this now, using that power word? I've got guys that are using this script, and they edit it to the way they want. But guys, this is powerful. If you're going to get a lot of renters, boom, baby.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah. And you guys have to practice it. Like put it on a clipboard and have somebody ride back with one of you and just go do it over. And it's just like we did the objections the other day. You got to practice it, because if you don't practice it, your blade gets dull. If your blade is dull, you're not cutting through. If you're not cutting through, you're not making sales.
Yep.
Awesome. Let's go into this. So you guys have that now as a powerful tool. So again, leaving them alone. The benefit here is let them go for rides and then come back with a quote. Right? You have to have your quotes from your bikes with all of the accessories. Those quotes are powerful because it reminds you of all of the accessories that you have on hand, instead of you getting to the end and going, okay, what else do you need? And that's when people go, what the fuck, man? Why are you trying to sell me stuff? Whereas opposed to you're saying, hey, you know what? So Josh, this is what people typically get when they pick up an Interceptor. Let me show you. And so then you go, so, and remember, guys, why are they coming to visit you? Right? It's not like your why is important, but one of the whys that we didn't cover, and I want to do this with you right now, and I think I'm literally down to the last page, which is perfect. So yeah, it's not even a page, but that's all right. You know, right on here. Why are they visiting you guys? Tell me real quick.
Are we talking about the average or?
Yeah, your customers are coming to visit you. Why you guys? Why Pedego Tampa?
They want to learn about e-bikes.
All right, so they want to learn, right? And they want to learn because you guys are.
Hold on 1 second, sorry.
You're experts. What did Steve just say? I know he said hold on. He took off.
Yeah, he said hold on 1 second, and he.
All right.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem. So why you? Because they want to come in and learn, and you're the experts. Why else is you? Because you have something that a lot of other people don't have. You've got the brand, right? So they want to learn, but you also have the brand power. I mean, Steve's shirt says it all. Pedego has a brand, and it is respected. So you've got to trust in that, okay? Speaking of trust, another reason why it's you guys is you guys are the trusted advisor. You have to look at yourselves as trusted advisors. Hey, Zoe, how are you?
She can't hear you. Wave.
Okay. So as a trusted advisor, you're also an authority.
I hate to do this to you guys, man, but I'm eating me a greasy burger because I haven't eaten all day.
No worries, man. No worries. I pounded a teriyaki chicken bowl right before coming on the call, so it's all good.
That was probably healthier than what I'm eating, though.
I do my best. Trust me. But this is the whole thing. Like, you know, we know your why. Your why is because, you know, it's your second business. You have a growing market. There's an opportunity. There's a reason to help people. You know, Josh, because you have a lot of respect for Steve. He's a great boss. Steve, because you're building a great team. And ultimately, it's all about some fun. It's fun and opportunity, and you're helping people, right? But then when you consider why they're coming to you, they're coming to learn. They're coming because they might have done a bit of research online and they know that Pedego's got some brand. And so when they're coming to visit you guys, their expectation is you're the experts, you're the authority, you're the trusted advisor. So what I'm telling you is, based on this, you can literally take it to the bank. It gives you the opportunity to be a little bit more forceful. I tell people in a Pedego store, don't confuse my enthusiasm for being pushy. Because it's basically saying in the background, the subtext is, hey, listen, I'm an expert here. I'm an authority. I'm here. You can trust me. We know what we're talking about. You're here to learn. You're here to test out bikes. It's all good. But here's the deal. If you make the wrong investment, it's because you didn't buy from us. You buy from us, you're paying a certain price, which may be a little bit higher than some other bikes that are out there, but the cost long-term is nothing in comparison to how expensive it'll be if you buy the wrong bike, right? Mm-hmm. So this is why the why you it's so important. So,
and another thing too, I say, because I have on my display floor, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 customer bikes sitting here, and, you know, I always point to those bikes and say, look, you know, these bikes are here.
Yeah.
You know, owners, we're servicing them, or maybe something went bad. You know, the convenience of bringing your bike here to get it serviced versus trying to just, you know, randomly find someone who may or may not work on your bike. You know?
So you've got service as another reason. You've got convenience as a legitimate reason. Value, right? I mean, these are all legitimate reasons why people come to you. And again, brand, reputation, it all plays into that. But you personally have to look at yourselves as experts, authorities, and trusted advisors. And as such, it gives you the right to be able to take these people that are sitting on the edge of the cliff and they're not willing to spread their wings. And it's like, okay, let's go. Come on, let's go. Like, people don't want to be sold. However, they do want to be told what the next step is.
Right.
Like, so it's don't confuse my enthusiasm for being pushy. Highest energy will always win. And I'm sure I wrote that somewhere, but I mean, you guys already can figure out, you know, when it comes to the sales approach, you could be, hey man, I'll be with you in a quick sec. Right? Or you could be, hey folks, I'll be with you in a quick sec. I mean, highest energy wins in anything, whether it's positive energy or negative energy. So if you, in the hiring process, you know, and there's going to be some times, guys, that there might be somebody, for example, let's say the three of us were in the store together and I'm on the floor and it's, you know, it's Joe Marcoux, ping, 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 ping energy. And for whatever the reason, I pick up the vibe because I'm intuitive, where I'm like, you know what? This couple, they just don't like me. Might be my face, might be my energy. I don't know. this is where you got to learn how to drop the ego. And ow!
Sorry.
Just kidding, dude. But dropping the ego in the sales approach is so important because I've done this in my career. I thought when I was younger, hey, I got to sell every time that I'm on the floor. And the answer is no, it doesn't have to be me. I've got other trusted advisors on my team. And the two of you alone are more than enough. There's going to be times where, for whatever the reason, they don't like you, Josh, or for whatever the reason they don't like you, Steve. And this is where in the future you might want to consider hiring a female, because women do have a tendency to relate better to women, and you do have 55% versus 45% in terms of your purchaser being women over men. In other stores, it's as high as 70-30. So knowing that you have people that can relate, and more and more women are getting involved in the game. If you went to, by the way, the Professional Bicycle Mechanics Association website, more and more women are becoming wrenchers in bike shops. So like, I'll be the first guy to admit, I used to think if you work at a bike shop as a wrench, you're a dude. And no, now more and more women are becoming, part of these sales teams and service teams. And so in the past, I used to think I could sell everything to everybody, and what I came to realize is no, not everybody's going to like me, and that's okay. What I've got to do is, if I'm in my discovery of first time in the store, how'd you hear about us? You ever ride a Pedego before? And then they do the little mini spin. They love it, but I can just pick up a vibe that they're not digging me. Here's what I would do. I'd say, hey, you know what? Folks, let me introduce you to Josh. He's actually the expert on this. Well, all of us on this team are experts. I'm going to do what I got to do to make sure that these people buy from our team. It's not about me. It's about the Pedego Tampa experience. So I would just go, let me introduce you to Josh. And I would say, hey, Josh, let me introduce you to these folks who I've just met. And they've told me, and who's it? I've already listened to who's it for, who else is going to use it, how are they going to use it. And I'm going to tell you all about it. And then I'm just going to get out of the way and let you relate with them, because for whatever the reason, like, I'm trying to do this, but it ain't working. So I'm just going to bow out. It's the smartest thing that you can do. And it will help them still buy your brand, as opposed to, if they don't like me, then they're not buying our brand. And that will happen. If they don't like me, then I've got to figure out, well, what is it about me? And sometimes it's like, 1 or 2 out of 100, like, they just don't like you. Next, turn the page. Don't lose any sleep over it. It's going to happen.
Yep. You
got to have the presence of mind of being able to deal with all of that. Does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Sweet. So I was just about to ask you a question, Steve, but you go ahead. I'm going to take a look at something here while you're doing that.
Thanks.
I just want to check.
Pedego Tampa, this is Steve.
All right. Hey, Josh, did I talk to you guys about dealing with time vampires? Do you remember that? No? Good.
No.
Let's go over this with you. So sometimes you're going to have that customer who's going to walk in, the prospect, and he's going to say, so tell me about your bikes. Right?
Yeah.
And he's the guy that women very rarely do this. It's usually dudes, and it's usually older dudes, or they're the dudes that are just going to want to constantly ask you questions, and they'll say, I don't have time to test ride. Right? I don't have time to test ride, but they've got an hour of time that they can waste your frickin' time.
Yeah.
Right? Have you ever experienced that yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
So you've got to make a decision. Are you going to get the bob? Because we've talked about the importance of butts on bikes, right? Like, the more bobs, the more sales. We talked about, if I can increase my test ride ratio, I'm going to increase my sales ratio. I mean, out of everything else, butts on bikes equals sales. So if I get, your original number was 20, guys, your number now has to be at least 50. Like, I know we put 40, but I truly believe you can at least get 50. If we get you from 20 to 50 out of 100 people, and if you're counting the number of people that you encounter in the store and you can get half, dude, you're going to double your business. Like, just based on sheer mathematics. I mean, it sounds like, well, how do I do that? Again, you got the person who says, tell me about your bikes. You do this. I absolutely will. Is this your first time here? How did you hear about us? You ever ride a Pedego before? I'm going to tell you about my bikes when I get your butt on a bike. Like, you know what I mean? If you try to talk to somebody about bikes, you ain't going to sell them. Telling is not selling. Do you agree?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get them on the bike. Then you can tell them about the bike based on what their needs are, which is who's it for, who else is going to use it, how are you going to use it, where are you going to ride it, how long is your typical ride going to be, are you riding alone or with a group, and are there any physical issues that I need to know about, ankles, knees, hips, spine, heart, or lung, right? Once you get to that point and then you get them on their extended ride, they come back and you go, what do you think? Do you like it? Nah, I'm not sure. Okay, get them on a second bike. Take that bike out. This is the baby brother version of the first bike you used. It doesn't have this, this, or this, but it's still pretty good. So you're losing this feature, losing this feature, losing this feature, right? Best, better, good. But you know what? Take it out and go for a ride. They come back. What do you think? Yeah, you know what? For some reason, I like this one better. Okay, no sweat. So do you want to take it? Yeah, awesome. Congratulations. Now, here's the things that people usually buy with that particular bike. Okay, what kind of deal can you give me? Well, Josh, I'm really glad that you bring that up. I mean, I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. The first thing you want to say is, what do you want to take off of this list, off of my quote? I'm not asking what do you have in mind. If you're asking me for a deal when I've got the quote in hand, then all I'm going to do is say, you know what, Josh, I totally appreciate that you want to save some money. So what off of this list do we want to take off? And we just go, and we take things off. I'm not discounting. So then sometimes that's all people need for a negotiation. You're not discounting at all. You're still getting all of your line items. So did you guys do the quotes yet?
I did one, but it came out very small. I got to figure out, put it on an Excel spreadsheet or something.
Yeah, you know what? Like, even if you did it in a Word document for now and you print them off, and you don't have to print off 100. You know, you just, print off, 2 or 3 or half a dozen on a busy day, and you have them at the ready so that when people leave, even if you just leave them as an icon on your desktop computer, people leave for a 10-minute ride, you walk back over to the computer, you click, and you print it as you need. So it's print on demand, right? Print as you go. Then you grab it, and then it's like, okay, when they're coming back, the quote has been newly printed, and then you're going to go, here's what people. So I can have the quote for, let's say, the black edition, and then they go, yeah, you know what? I'm going to take a look at a different bike. And then, okay, well, let me get you on the regular city commuter. Here's the thing. You're going to lose the SLX derailleur, so you're going to feel that the shifting's not as smooth, and it's not as comfortable with the index finger and whatnot, but you'll see that when you go ride it. You're also going to lose 3 gears. You're also going to lose that front suspension fork, and you're also losing the torque sensor, which we talked about, the difference between the torque sensor and cadence sensor. And now that they leave and they come back, which one do you like better? Yeah, you know what? I really like that black edition a lot better. Yeah, most people do. So do you want to do that one instead? I mean, my goal is to help you buy one. Yeah. I mean, what kind of deal can you give me? You know what? I totally appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. Before we hammer out that final deal, I want to show you what people usually get when they buy a black edition. And then you would do this. Hey, Zoe. You would do this, and you would show them and let me do this for you guys. So here's the black edition quote from Pedego San Diego, right? So here's the platinum black edition, and where most people are only showing, they'll usually just go, here's the bike and the battery and maybe a lock and a helmet. So it's like 4 line items. And keep in mind, this bike used to be $41.95. It's now $39.95. But just for the sake of the exercise, you can see how this works. He's taken a $4,500 invoice and he's changed it to $6,600. Now that doesn't mean everybody's going to spend $6,600, right, guys? But now you can say, well, you know what? I don't want the body float seat post. Take that off, no problem. I don't need the loony bin bottle cage, no problem. There's $25 off. So, but I'm not discounting the bottom line. And then if after you do this and you do some scratching off, then they go, well, can you do better price on the bike? Same thing. What would you say if after that part, Josh, if I said to you, oh, can you give me a better price on the bike? What do you say?
I got to look at my notes.
Do it. Do it.
I'm going to take a guess.
Go
What
ahead,
did you
man.
have in
Well,
mind?
there's a couple things that you could say.
Yeah, you, Steve, you are correct. Just, you got to acknowledge it. I can appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? So you're right. And then based on, and this is why we got to listen to what our customer's saying. What do you think, Josh? What were you thinking?
Well, I was thinking that, but then I was thinking, you know, so you're saying if I throw this in, you'll buy this now.
Yeah,
that would come after.
That would come after. So again, let's say I've got this magical list, and I know that our limit is $200, right? This is the beauty of everything that we've worked on, guys. Is we've got more butts on bikes. We've got their follow-up information. We've got them, you know, now for an extended test ride with our quote. We know that we're the trusted advisor. We know why they're here. We're the experts. They ask us for a deal. I'm willing to give you a deal, but I'm not going to say that. I'm going to hold my cards tight and go, so I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? And then, before I go there, I would say, if I have the quote, is, hey, you know what? I appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What is it off of this quote that you want to take off to save you money? So I'm not discounting or throwing in shit. I'm just removing money to help them save the bottom line. About half of the people are going to say, yeah, that's good for now. And then we've saved the money and no discounting. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pen, do this, and Steve, imagine if this was the case where I take the pen and do this and I put an X on it, on this piece of paper. You're sitting down in the store. I've done this. Here's your quote. And I go, here, you know what? Have a seat. Have a look at that for a quick sec. I'm going to just go over here. I'm going to go grab you a bottle of water. Here's a bottle of water. Just have a look at that, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. And I give you a pen with it, too. So there's an X and a pen, and you're looking over the quote. What are you compelled to do now?
Most people are compelled to sign. I would.
Yes. Yeah, but most people are compelled to sign. They're going to look it over, and they're going to be like this with a big X and a line on the bottom, and they're going to be like with a pen in hand. And do you have a place in your shop where they can actually sit down?
I don't know if you can see, but right over there, there's like a table with 4 chairs.
Okay, yeah.
Probably hard to see, but.
But is it around the corner there?
Well, it's right directly next to the cash register.
Okay, yeah. So that's the idea. If you give them this and you walk away, they can look at it. If they've got questions, they can say, well, hey, listen, man, you know, and then you can say, well, what off of the list do you want me to remove? And then here, have a look at it. I'll come back, and you can go help some other people. They're drinking their water. Because if I give you a bottle of water, the law of reciprocity, or I make you a cup of coffee, or if I give you a glass of wine or a beer, and remember, my understanding at least, I don't know if this is the case in Florida, but in every other state that I've worked in, as long as you're not charging for alcohol, you can give it away for free, and you don't need a license.
Yeah.
So some of the top dealers will, hey, can I offer you a beer? Would you like a bottle? Can I open up a bottle of wine and give you a glass of wine? It doesn't have to be the most expensive bottle of wine around. But what happens is people are seeing that you are appreciating and you're giving. If you come in with a giving hand, and the law of reciprocation is, if you give to me, I'm going to give back. I used to do this at my fitness store all the time. People say, you know, they'd want to have a reason to go think about it. And I'd say, hey, you know what, guys? I've got these coupons for a free lunch over at Grandma Lee's, or I've got these coupons for Starbucks, free coffee. Let me buy a cup of coffees. Go over to Starbucks and think about it, but just do me a favor. If you decide to go home, just come back and talk to me and let me know that you're going home. 9 times out of 10, they'd go have a coffee, and the conversation was literally, no shit, they would sit down, they'd go like this. Sit down with their coffees, and they'd go, so, are we doing this? Yeah. And then, right, husband and wife, so honey, are we doing this? Yeah. And then they'd finish their coffee, and because they already knew. They just needed to be away from the salesperson.
Right.
Which is why you need to have music on in your store, because music is like camouflage. And you don't play the music that you like. You play the music that they like, right? Whatever your typical, like, hey man, I can love Led Zeppelin, but if my client doesn't like Zeppelin, hey, and they're more of a, whatever. I mean, it's like there's people that love Zeppelin, people that love the Beatles or the Stones. That can all be lumped into one. And maybe I'll use a better example. There's some people who don't like, Metallica. You might like Metallica, but you know what? Your 60-year-old client, probably not a big Metallica fan. So, Enter Sandman in the middle of the store is probably not the best example. I mean, I love the tune, but I'm not playing it for them, right? So if I'm being selfish, it's just not cool. So make sure that you got good hopping, happy tunes. A couple of good bands that you might want to consider that make people feel good. Gypsy Kings, really popular in a lot of good retail shops for this particular age range. It's music that people might not necessarily know, but they go, oh man, this sounds really fun. Jesse Cook is another great artist that has this really good guitar sound, but there's not a lot of singing, if no singing at all, but it's just, good energy, right? So get a Pandora playlist, put it through a Bluetooth speaker. That's it. And that's where, hey, you know what, folks? I'll give you guys a couple minutes. I'll be right back. I got something to do at my desk. And I used to always say it. Let me go check to see if my desk is still there. And then I'd even go and turn the music up while they're talking, because they if it's dead quiet, they start whispering. Because for some reason they don't want me to hear. It's like, I don't need to hear. Go ahead and think about it, man. No problem.
Yep.
But if I give them the coffee coupons or a lunch coupon, or hey, can I offer you a glass of wine or a beer, and I keep them in the store and they can just sit down in your little seating area and you're doing your thing and you're getting more butts on bikes, guys, that is magic. Because again, you want to have that popcorn effect when you have somebody in the store who's decided to buy, and they're about to leave. I would go, okay, Josh, well, again, congratulations, and we really appreciate you and your business. And Steve, hey, by the way, this is Josh. Josh just picked himself up this Ridge Rider, right? And then I all the time, I introduce people because I want to build community, but then I also help justify immediate social proof. People go, you bought one? Really? And just get out of the way. Let them talk. These are just people, not salespeople. That makes sense, guys?
Oh yeah. I've already had that experience once or twice here with just recently we sold the boomerang and the stretch, and while we're doing the transaction, a lady came in. I think it was a husband and wife.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, you guys just bought the stretch, and then they started talking. I just kind of stepped away and let them talk,
Yeah.
But
and what's great is they probably did a better job of convincing the person who hadn't made the decision yet than you ever would.
Yeah.
Which is great. So take advantage of that as often as you can, man. It's literally being conscious of, hey, I got to introduce these people and get out of the way. It's great. Absolutely great. And it leverages your time. So now you'll have a time vampire that'll come in and they'll say, tell me about your bikes. Don't start talking about specs, right? People don't care what you sell. They care about why you sell it. Get them on it. It's the only real thing that's going to make the difference in terms of, have you ever, so I need to know, first time here, how did you hear about us? You ever try one before? Hop on. Now, the other thing that can happen, and this is why it's so important for you to have this, is when you have that situation where you have somebody that's in the store and it's Saturday It's a freaking Saturday, and the store starts to jam. And it's like, you got people that they want to try bikes. And then you got this guy who's, so how many spokes are on this bike? And what's the warranty? And how many windings are there in this rear hub motor? And you might not even have the answer to this. And it's like, oh my God, right? And it's like, is this a direct drive or a planetary geared drive system? And it's like, okay, dude, right? And you're going to get people like this. And you know what?
Already had some people like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've got to make a decision. And I learned this from somebody already who's just a masterful salesperson, and his approach is a little abrasive. So I'm going to tell you what he says, and then I'm going to suggest how you deal with a time vampire my way. But I agree with a certain time frame. Within a certain time frame, like about 15 to 20 minutes, you should know if somebody's going to be buying today or not. You just pick up on it. Yeah. If in about 20 minutes and the store's starting to get busy, or you've got a list of to-do, like on your urgent list, like if you look at you got stuff to do, and like you could get stuff done that are going to move the needle to your business, and you've got a guy who's just, harping on you, and he's not even getting on a bike, but he wants to hang out all day, you've got to be able to cut it. So I frame it with people. Like I get on a phone call. Like I had a phone call before I got on the call with you guys with a realtor who wants to do the SOS dojo with he's a broker, and he's got 4 realtors that he wants them to join my training dojo, which is great. But I told this guy, his name is Paul, and I said, Paul, we've got 20 minutes, and at 20 minutes, I got to go because I've got to set up my office for a call with Tampa. And he's like, not a problem. And between you guys and me, I always do a discovery call and a follow-up call. I always do that. So even if I don't have a follow-up call like I have with you guys, I had a training call with you at 1, I would have told this guy, Paul, hey, listen, I got 20 minutes and then I got to go. And I'll tell you why I do that. Because then when I call him back between the call, as I've discovered what he needs and what his needs are, I do what's called putting him in the microwave. I want to keep him warm. So what I do is I send him an email and I go, hey, Paul, this was a great first call. I've learned a lot about your business because like you guys, I've given you a template. My discovery call template is 3 pages long, right? Like I go through a lot of questions with people, not just 8 qualifying and butts on bikes. And then what I do is I send him an article that was recently published that I wrote, and then I send him my Calendly link so he sets up another call with me. And if he sets up another call, I know that my statistics is 90% closing rate on that second call. So I'm golden. Well, this is what you want to do. You got Time Vampire who's in your store, you're 20 minutes in, and now you got, let's say, 2 other people that have come in. And you've said, hey, folks, be with you in a quick moment. Another person comes in. Hey, folks, be with you in a quick moment. And I'm still a Time Vampire. This is what you do. Hey, Zoe.
I can hear it.
Yes.
I could hear you.
She
can't hear me. Don't worry. So what I'm going to do with the Time Vampire is say this. Again, the old guy, he would have said, you know what? My sense is you're not buying a bike today. These people might be, so I'm going to go work with them. And when you're ready, come back and see us and leave. It's a little abrasive. All right. Yeah. My approach, not so abrasive. This is how I'm going to suggest it. I would say, hey, you know what, Steve? My sense is you're not looking to buy a bike today, and that's totally okay. Here's the thing. These folks over here, they might be looking to buy today, and I got to take advantage of that on the busiest day of the week. So here's what I want to suggest. Let me pull out my calendar, and let's pick a time during the week where it's a little quieter, and I can give you a little bit more time. What's good for you, Wednesday or Thursday? So what I'm doing is I'm taking no off the table, and I'm saying Wednesday. No's not an option. Is it Wednesday or Thursday? What's good for you? Now, there's essentially 3 things that are going to happen. Number 1, when I say, you know what, my sense is you're not going to be looking to buy a bike today, and that's okay, but these folks might, and I really want to be able to pay attention to them, so why don't we? Oftentimes people go, oh, no, I'm buying today. Then you get to, cut to the chase.
Yep.
Cut to the chase and go, excellent, Steve. Which one is it? Let me get the quote. Have it, you know what I mean? Like, let's not fool around. Let's go. If on the flip side, they go, you could also do, hey, you know what? My sense is, Steve, that you're not really going to be pulling the trigger and making a decision today. And listen, man, that's totally okay. But I've got some other folks that I want to help out. Why don't you just follow along? And I'm going to help these folks out, and then we could have a conversation with them as well. And I've done that where I've had somebody saying, I don't have time to ride today, but they're asking me tons of questions. And then I go, well, you know what? Just for fun, come with me to the new people. And I go first, and I come back, and then they ride, and they go out, they sign a waiver, they go out, they come back. The first dude who said I didn't have the time finally goes, all right, I'll try it. Do you see how that's going to help you save time?
Yep.
So you're not ignoring them and telling them, F you. You're basically going, okay, bro, you know what? You're not really serious here. So I'm going to, like, you can come along and you can ask me a few other questions, but I have a responsibility to help these other people. Right? So there's the third thing that could happen is you may get somebody who goes, they didn't want to help me out. So that's why you got to be very clear. Hey, so it's like, sir, my sense is you're not buying today, and that's okay. Because it's Saturday, I need to take advantage of all the traffic that's coming in, and they might be buying today, and that's the nature of our business. But because I respect you, I want to set up a time where it's a little quieter. If you go over all of that way, there's no reason why they could be upset with you. You're saying, listen, these folks are here now. You're taking, and without saying you're taking up all my valuable time, they are. Now, they may ghost you. They may not come back in. That's okay. They probably weren't gonna be buying in the first place anyway. So if you pick up on that, give yourself the out by telling them, hey folks, I gotta help these other folks here, but I can totally respect that you have a lot of questions. Why don't you come back when I have more time for you? Because I've got to be able to help everybody. You know, and they've got to respect the fact that I'm running a place of business. I got to keep the lights on. I got to pay for the inventory, right? Does that not make sense?
No, it does.
Steve, I can't hear you, man. You're muted.
Technical difficulty.
Can't hear you, bro. There you go.
Hear me now?
You mean, yep. Welcome back.
I can't hear you. Crap.
No way.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay, good.
My headphones were dying.
Oh, okay. So that's how you deal with time vampires, guys. Use the calendar that's by your phone. And remember, we talked about Give Good Phone previously, right?
Yeah. Right?
So when somebody calls in, it's, yeah, what do your bikes start at? You don't go, yeah, they're at $18.95. No. You're always going to, it's, hello, fun, Pedego Tampa. Yeah, what do your bikes start at? Joe's answer is 0. Yeah, my bikes, the bikes here, they start at 0. And then when you start pedaling, they go 0.1 and then up to 0.5 miles an hour, and then it's 1 mile. No, the price. Oh. Well, let me ask you, is this your first time calling the store? How did you hear about us? Have you ever ridden a Pedego before? You've never ridden a Pedego before? So again, I'm going to use the daily metrics tracker on my phone call. Like, it's critical that you use this not only when people are in the store, but when they're phoning, because if you don't use it while they're on the phone, guys, when I had Fitness Depot, we figured out that every time the phone rang, it cost $33.
33?
$33 for every phone call. My buddy Victor, who owns the Treadmill Factory and Fitness Factory here in Canada, he's got 5 locations. And trust me when I say it, they're massive. And long and short of it, like one of his locations is 80,000 square feet. He sells equipment. Yeah, it's huge. Wow. Yeah. So he's up in Markham, Ontario, north of Toronto. And he's spending $57 a lead. So for him, he's spending $57 for a qualified lead to come in the store. Now, sometimes he gets somebody and they only spend $20. They're buying, bands. But then he's got other people that come in and they buy a whole home gym outfit and it's $20,000.
Wow.
So for him, the $57 spend is worth it because he's getting qualified customers as opposed to tire kickers that are wasting his salespeople's time. right? Because he's a high-end quality supplier of exercise equipment. Back when I had my exercise equipment store, if you sucked at answering the phone, you weren't allowed to answer the phone because it was money, right? Because if I couldn't get you to confirm a booking time to come in and visit me in a calendared state, like to come in and book it, then I'm getting your credit card over the phone. I'm closing you on the phone. It's either or. So if somebody said, yeah, what do your dumbbells start at? Well, I mean, I would tell them it's £1, right? And then, no, your price per pound, right? Like, I mean, I always have a sense of humor in it. And then I'd say, well, and then I would say, well, it depends on the type of dumbbell, because I've got different dumbbell types. How did you hear? So this is your first time calling the store. How did you hear about us? So you've never been in before? What else are you going to, and then I would start talking about fitness programs and whatnot. But with you guys, it's even easier. First time calling the store, how did you hear about us? Write it down, because Steve, you need to know where your marketing dollar is working. And then, have you ever ridden a Pedego before? If they say no, it's like, listen, it doesn't matter how much phoning around you're doing. Unless you take the time, at least 20 minutes to actually ride a bike, you're never going to know how good these e-bikes are, because there's so many differences in them. So if you preface that it's a 20-minute test ride, book it with them. Why don't we book you a free test ride right now? In fact, if you want to do it now, I'll rent you one for an hour for free. I mean, you've already got them on the phone, butts on bikes. Get them in the door. What's better for you, Wednesday or Thursday? No is not an option on that question. What's better for you, Wednesday or Thursday, Tuesday or Wednesday? What's good for you, morning or afternoon? It's either or. I'm not asking yes or no. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
So you absolutely, I don't care if it's a phone call. If they've said, now you might get, is this your first time calling the store? Yes, it is. How did you hear about us? Google. What were your search words? Tampa Bay electric bikes. Perfect. Have you ever ridden a Pedego before? Yes, I have. Bing. Oh, all right. Where did you ride it? What did you like about it? So is there a specific model that you're looking for? Okay, what model is it? And if I can close over the phone, do it. I mean,
yes, one of the things that we're struggling with, both not on the phone, obviously, as well in the store, it's like, how do I get them to buy a bike that they originally didn't ask for? Like, hey, do you have any boomerangs? No, we don't, but we have this. Or do you have a trike? I don't, but
Did you get the information on the trike, how to do the custom build? Did I send you those details?
The what now?
The I don't think they might have been calling up in Santa Rosa. There's a I'm going to send you this. I'm going to just take a note here. Confucius say bad handwriting better than good memory. Custom trike build. So Pedego Dunedin, Rick, used to get bikes from I want to say J&B or JBI, I can't remember. He would get a trike, a fat tire trike, and put Pedego components on it and electrify it and sell it for $36.95.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't even know you can do that.
Well, most people don't. And I'm not, again, I don't work for Pedego. I'm just telling you what I saw, and I think it was pretty brilliant because it was a bike that didn't exist in the marketplace. It had Pedego components sold through a Pedego store, but the frame was not Pedego.
Right.
But it looked awesome. And in fact, when I was there originally, back in 2019, I want to say it was October. Anyways, doesn't really matter. They said they had it for sale for $29.95, and I said, you guys should sell this bike for $36.95, like a full $700 more. And they were like, I'm like, guys, nobody knows what an e-bike should sell for, and there's value in it. I can see the value at this at $36.95. And this was the couple that came in, and he was a heavier set gentleman. He must have been around 70 years old, and his wife. And I put him on a boomerang first. It was not the right bike, and then I put him on the trike because he had mobility issues with his hip. He loved it, and then she said, how much? And I said, $36.95. And I did not hesitate, $36.95. Like, if somebody asks you the price of the bike, if you go, well, and if you think they're expensive, you're telling them they're expensive. They're not expensive. It's $36.95. It's awesome. Period. We're the experts. We know what we're talking about. So she said to me, So I said, yeah, it's $36.95. And she said, wow, that's expensive. I can get a Rad Power for about half that price. And I said, Mary, you know what? I totally appreciate that you've been doing your research. How important is service to you? Right? In fact, I said, how important is local service to you? And she said, well, it's really important. I said, how far away do you live from here? She said, about 40 minutes away. I said, okay. I said, do you see all these bikes? She said, yeah. I said, every one of these bikes is going to require regular maintenance. And you can see the service department back there, right? Yeah. I said, so there's maintenance and then there's service. Maintenance is like on your car. You got to get a regular oil change, because if you don't get a regular oil change, you're going to require service. You're going to need expensive parts and labor. Would you agree? She said, yeah. I said, okay, so if you buy a product online, where do you think you're going to get it serviced for regular maintenance? God forbid you even need service when you do need parts, because every one of these breaks down. I don't care what brand. And she was dead silent, and I shit you not, her husband pulled out the credit card and went, let's just do it, and that was it.
Awesome.
So instead of me saying, and this is what a lot of Pedego stores have done in the past, they've said, you know, when somebody said, I can get a Rad Power for half the price, you know what ends up happening? The Pedego dealer gets all defensive, and they go, well, you know, if you buy that online, you're not going to be able to get service. That's not the right approach. You heard how I did it, right? I just used SOS. I said, hey, you know what? I totally appreciate that you've done your research, Mary. How important is local service to you? And she answered her own question. And I built value in the fact that, you see our service department? And you guys, we all know, the three of us know on this phone call, I don't care what freaking brand it is, every bike has wearing parts, moving parts, lubricating parts. You're going to need service. And our typical customer, that customer, they don't want to do jack. They don't want to deal with it. Did I tell you guys, by the way, about so I'm going to send you the custom trike build details, because I've got that in an email somewhere, and I'll forward it over to you. And Rick from Dunedin, he's a super guy. I mean, if you had questions to him on how to build it, he'd walk you through it. Yeah.
I've reached out to them, man. I think I told you already, and they're not answering their calls.
Well, I'll copy him on the email if you want. I mean, he's a super guy, but he's got other stuff going on. I mean, I don't know what's happening with Caroline, but Rick, I mean, and again, I don't know what's going on with Caroline. I think she's fantastic, and I wish her all the best. But Rick came up with this custom trike build, and I think it's really cool. In thinking of that and thinking of your typical customer, they don't want to do any service, right? So I want to show you guys, because I want to share my screen again, and I want to show you guys something on YouTube that's really neat, and you guys could consider getting this. This is called the, let me go over here. So the Hutchinson Serenity tires, these are really cool. The Hutchinson Serenity tires are 100% flat proof. And again, I don't know which supplier carries them, but you could, if you have a TV in your store, and I want to make sure, I'm going to make sure that the sound is on. So hang on. Yeah. So check this out. This takes about 1.5 minutes, but it's worth it. You guys see this? Can you hear it? pretty sweet.
It is.
Right?
Nice.
So something for you guys to consider, the Hutchinson Serenity tires. They'll go on all the city commuters. They have different sizes. I'm not 100% sure. Again, I'm not paid by Hutchinson. I just think it's a really cool option because the typical customer who's that 60-year-old, if you don't sell them a pump on every sale, I promise you, and this is the other purpose of having that quote, you got to think about it. Every bike is losing 3 pounds of tire pressure every week. That's the average. So what happens to a tire that is at 50 pounds or 55 pounds of pressure on, let's say, an Interceptor, if it's 3 pounds a week, well, in 7 weeks, it's lost 21 pounds. Then all of a sudden, the battery that's usually getting you, this much range is only getting you this much range. So in, 5, 6, 7 weeks, you get that customer who calls and says, yeah, my battery's not as good as it used to be. And it's like, the first question out of your mouth has got to be, well, sir, when was the last time that you checked your tire pressure? And they're going to go, what do you mean? Well, you should be checking your tire pressure once a week. So it becomes like, if you can eliminate these phone calls, it's because you're doing them as a good service by selling them a pump. And I'm just using the pump. There's so many accessories that you're doing people a favor by making sure that they buy at a time of purchase. You don't want them going on Amazon and walking back in the store and saying, hey, Josh, can you assemble this for me? It's like, oh my God, really, dude? And you're not going to say no, but suddenly you're adding shit to do on your list because they already bought a bike. But the goal is get everything on the list so that, that's why you do the exercise and load it up. And don't make the mistake that some stores have made where, let's say they have a phone holder. I've gone in stores where they have iPhone 5 phone holders, right? But now they, iPhone 7 Plus, they don't have a phone holder for that. And it's obsolete. This iPhone 5 holder is obsolete. Well, had they had a quote list, they would have never forgot to ask for it. Now they got to give this shit away to people with old phones. You know what I mean? And it's accessory inventory that becomes obsolete, and it's like a doorstop. So by using the quote, everything that's up on your wall, which is 50% margin stuff, helps your blended margin, helps you add more profit dollars, and it's going to help the consumer anyways. So everything's a win. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So look up the Hutchinson Serenities. I don't know where you're going to be able to find them. I used to think that they were available from QVP, but I don't think they're there. But you will be able to find them, and a couple of stores do sell them. I've ridden them before. I think they're really cool. What it is it's a regular tire with a high density foam insert on the inside, so that you don't have a nozzle for air. So there's no tube. Tube. The claim is that it's and I don't know if this is a fact, but the high density foam was on the space shuttle to be able to insulate the door. Whether that's true or not, I don't care. What matters is now you don't have to sell a pump if you sell these tires. And somebody who's commuting to work, I can tell you, if those tires were worth $200, and I think it's $129 for a pair, at $129, you never have to check your tire pressure, and you don't have to worry about getting a flat on going to work, meaning you're never late for work. Sold.
I wish you would have known this, because about 3 weeks or so ago, a customer wants to buy the stretch.
Yeah.
And use it for commuting and whatnot, but he wanted something. He asked me, do you know if there's a tire out there that's 100% puncture proof?
Now you know it.
I don't know. So yeah. I reached out to Pedego, and they must not know about this tire, because they recommended some tire by Schwabel or something like that. Even that wasn't 100%.
Yeah, the marathons.
Yeah.
And they're good. Here's the thing. I'm not sure if the Hutchinson Serenity would fit on the stretch. I know it'll fit on the city commuter. Right. So this is why Pedego might have said, well, you know what? It's not going to fit on the stretch, so we're going to recommend the marathons. So it's not that Pedego didn't know. It's that Pedego probably knew which bike that the Hutchinsons are available on. But again, I'm only assuming. But and you had mentioned earlier that you had talked to Cassidy, and we lost you in the steps. So you talked to him about how things are going and training and whatnot?
He called me asking how things were going here, which is cool that they're following up with us, you know.
Excellent.
I told him, our ups and downs, and I told him, I said, by the way, I wanted to let you know I'm doing the training with Joe. You know, we're about a little more than halfway through it, and he was like, oh, great, how's it going? I was like, no, great, you know, we're loving it. I think it's really helping, you know. Forgot what I asked him. Perhaps I asked him something about shit. Oh no, that's what it was. He asked about inventory, and I told him that we're getting a lot of requests for bikes that we don't have.
Right.
And that's why I asked you. He said, "Hey man, talk to Joe. You know, see what he says. You know, see what he recommends, what tips he can give you. You know, he of course said, you know, you guys are great, whatever. You know, so."
Well, that's great. And so if you have a customer who comes, if they're calling you, so it's twofold. And I want to understand the objection. The customer's calling you and they're saying, hey, Steve, or hey, Pedego Tampa, do you have a boomerang in stock? Are they calling you because they've already dealt with you, or are they calling you from another Pedego location praying that you have a boomerang because they'd rather buy it from you because the other guy's out of stock too?
Well, if I had better phone skills, I would know that, right?
Okay.
I kind of just answer the question. Hey, do you guys have a trike in stock? No, I'm sorry. You know, we don't have any trikes. You know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't.
So first things first, you want to find out, like, is this a B-back from yours? Because this is a customer that you've already spent time with, right, or are they calling from another store? And then you have a decision to make, Steve, and that decision is, am I going to cut somebody a deal on a piece of inventory that I don't have right now, but at least I'm going to get a deposit? And this is a question of this, you know, it's a question of in discovery on the phone call. Because if I get a random phone call and it's like, hello, Fun Pedego Tampa. Yeah, do you guys have any boomerangs in stock? Well, that's a great question. First, I need to ask you, is this your first time calling us? Have you ever been in before? Right? Like, is your first time calling us? How did you hear about us? And have you ever ridden, I'm assuming you've ridden a boomerang before. Like, don't worry, nobody's going to say, well, I'm not answering your questions until you answer mine. You'll be able to get all the discovery questions out of the way. And then it's like, so you're looking for a boomerang. If it was somebody that you've dealt with, you'll remember them, or Josh will remember them. And it's like, oh, okay, right on. And it's like, be honest. We don't, in my opinion, if it's one of your people, we don't have them. However, and now this is the question of what is going to be your strategy. Because if you don't have them, I mean, right now it's every man for themselves, okay? I don't want people that you've dealt with calling other stores and getting deals, okay? This is the other part of the same strategy. If somebody calls me from an other area, I don't care from where, they're calling my store and taking up my time, whether it's my time, your time, Josh's time, whatever. It's just Joe Marcoux' opinion. Take my information like spare ribs, keep the meat, throw away the bone. I answer the phone. Hello, Fun Pedego Tampa. Yeah, do you have any boomerangs in stock? Hey, that's a great question. Before I answer, is this your first time calling? How did you hear about us? So have you ever ridden a boomerang before? So it wasn't here. Okay. Now you have a question the question you need to ask yourself, Steve, is, are you going to do your best to take a deposit and make a deal with this person on the call? And I can't answer that.
Yeah.
But remember, it is every man for themselves right now.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I mean,
so
I would go after the deposit unless they tell me, oh no, I want it today, or I want to test drive it first, or something like that. So
then if they want to test ride it, you don't have a boomerang in stock right now, correct? Yeah. Okay. Even if you don't have a boomerang in stock, I would say I've got several bikes that have identical components to the boomerang. When is a good time for you to come in and visit us? What's good for you, Wednesday or Thursday?
Because you do have. I said, well, I don't have the boomerang specific, but I have the interceptor step to do. I have asked. I said, do you want to come in and take one for a ride and see what you think?
So remember, that's what you just asked is a yes or no question,
right? As
opposed to taking no off the table.
Right.
So it's like, hey, so again, framing it in the way of saying, you know what, the boomerang is super, super popular right now, and we're selling a ton of them. In fact, if you want, you can leave me a deposit for one right now. Or better yet, you could come in and I can show you bikes that have very similar features, just like the Boomerang. What's a good day for you, Wednesday or Thursday? And I get you in. I can take a bike that's like this, and I'm going to tilt it over and make it easy for somebody to step over and put them up and go, I just want you, now that the bike is in between their legs, I can get them to ride it. Right? So I'll get you to ride it, and then I'll hold on to the bike and tilt it. And then when I get the Boomerang frame in stock, I'll take it to me. I'll take a deposit from you now to confirm the bike. I'll let you ride it when I have it in stock. And tell you what, if you're not satisfied with this bike when you come back and ride it, I'll give you your deposit back 100% guaranteed. Because here's the thing. I think we discussed this before, guys. On a scale of 1 to 10, how delighted is somebody when they take a bike home?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So if you get them the frame, if they don't buy it, trust me, somebody else will. So your risk is 0.
Yeah. That was going to be, you answered my question, but I was going to ask you is, take a deposit, how much, and is that refundable? But you answered it.
I personally, I say it's 100% refundable deposit. And again, that's just my information. The other alternative as well is you say somebody, when they buy a bike, you can offer them, instead of saying, hey, I take the bike, like if somebody says, hey, I've got buyer's remorse and I'm bringing the bike back or whatever, returns are not allowed. I would say, listen, here's the deal. I'll credit you for any other bike in the store of equal or higher value over the course of 14 or even as high as 30 days. But there's no restocking fee. You own the bike.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I've been on the fence. I haven't had it happen yet, but what's going to happen? Because the day's going to come. What's probably going to say, hey, look, I'm sorry. I don't want this bike. I made a bad choice. Whatever. Can I get a return? Or
you can make a decision on that. You can make a decision on that, Steve. You can have it in very fine print on the bottom of every invoice that goes out it's a no return in-store credit policy for 14 days after purchase. If somebody is adamant, and I don't know what the state laws are on returns, you can charge a 20% restocking fee.
Yeah.
So, okay, the bike cost $39.95. It's $800 to restock it. Because now this bike has to go into my rental fleet. It's not new anymore. I can't sell it new.
I did have a lady, one of my first bikes that I sold, she brought it back. She bought a bike for her.
Yeah.
Her husband wanted to buy a bike, so he came in the store to buy a bike. But something was wrong with the one that she bought. I can't freaking remember. But she ended up buying an even more expensive bike.
Perfect.
So I took that was my only bit. But her husband was buying a bike, and she exchanged hers for a more expensive bike.
Yeah.
It worked out, But
right
other than that, no one's come back yet. So I'm sure it'll happen.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have different scenarios that are coming for sure. And in those cases, you definitely want to be prepared so that you're asking the right questions. But does that make sense when somebody says, hey, do you have X bike? And even if you don't have it, like the Pedego brand has so many different things that are very similar in their design that you're not lying when you're saying to somebody, I've got bikes here that are very similar to the one that you're looking at in terms of overall features, and then just go, what's a good time for you? Tuesday or Wednesday? What's better, morning or night? And
the only challenge are the two bikes, obviously the trike and the tandems. Other than that, all the other bikes, like you said, even the tandem, it's a one-person bike. They can still get the feel for all the components.
Right. So what I'll do is, as far as the trike is concerned, and again, I don't know if Pedego's got all the components in stock to be able to basically electrify a acoustic non-electric bike frame and put it together. But I'll make a point of after our call to put that together and send that over to you. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I'm just going to go back to my list here, is so we talked about asking and ask and hold. We talked about the buying frenzy, popcorn method, dealing with time vampires. We went over Give Good Phone. What are you doing? Have you talked to Tom Bach at all about networking outside of the store?
No.
So basically, when you're thinking about networking, you could join networking groups that are going to help promote the store. And part of the thing that, where did I put this? Right here. Okay. So, part of the things that are, you got urgent things to do, important things to do, non-urgent and non-important. Joining a networking group, whether it's the Chamber of Commerce, a networking club like the Rotary, Business Networking International, some kind of leads group. Again, think of your typical customer. Where are they when they're not in your store? Where do they hang out, man?
Awfully expensive restaurants.
Yeah.
All right. So if they hang out at expensive restaurants, you got to start spending time on that food tour.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with hooking up with 10 to 15 different restaurants, having 3 different food tours. If you took 15 to 20 minutes every day for the next 3 weeks, where you showed up at the store 20 minutes early, no email, no phone, all you did was food tour, and you called up people and you made appointments and you let them know what you were planning, and then you started building it, and then you do a beta test with maybe your existing customers, and you call up 3 or 4 of your existing customers and go, hey guys, I'm putting together a tour. And here's the interesting thing about a food tour. You could have your tour start, here's your store, and all 5 restaurants could be on the same street, right? But you're actually going to the restaurant this way, you stop, everybody takes their helmet off, you show them how to use the lock, you walk in, you've told the restaurant you're coming, everybody gets a tapas-sized little piece of something to eat. There's no looking at the menu and bullshit because we don't have time. Then you get back on the bike, and even if the next restaurant that you're going to visit is right next door, you leave and you go for a ride, and then, oh look, and you come back. So you've gone somewhere else, and then you do the same thing. And then you leave, you go for a ride, and you come back to restaurant number 3 and 4 and 5. And then what you do is at the end of the tour, you let people know, bring this coupon back to the store or the restaurant that you enjoy, that you want to go visit. They might go to all 5. The restaurant gets a metric finding out that Pedego has sent people into their place of business. If you start doing that for these really nice restaurants that your typical customer hangs out, what do you think they're going to do for you?
Hopefully kick customers back.
They're going to send, hey, you guys want to have something really fun to do this weekend? Why don't you guys should go do the Pedego electric bike food tour and cross-pollinate with other businesses. Whether it's the food tour, and if it's a beer tour or a wine tour, what you do is you only allow people to have a taste. It's not a full glass because you don't want people getting hammered on bikes. But still, it's a fun. I've done a wine tour on a bike. It's a blast, man. And then what you do, you could either buy wines or you end up going back when you're not on a bike. And it's same thing with beer tours. Beer and bike is really popular. So these are things that generate revenue and help you cross-pollinate with other businesses in the community. And that's what you want. You want more quality leads. Ask yourself the question, where are my customers when they're not in my store? And wherever you figure out where they are, like, are you going to do trade shows? Like a boat show? Boat
when
shows
they start happening.
Yeah. So, you go to a boat show, or you even go and talk to boat dealerships, and you go, hey man, I've had some stores make the choice of, I'm going to leave a latch in your store, in your place of business, and just tell people and show the latch folded, and just tell people this is an electric bike and have them come see me. And for every lead that turns into a sale, you send them something, send them a gift, you send them $50 or whatever. I mean, you got to come, but you can't just go in and go, hi, my name's Steve, I'm with Pedego, I'd like to leave a bike in your store. Like, that's not going to work. Whereas if you showed up and you called somebody and you go, hey, Mr. Manager, and you show up with a couple of bikes on the back and go, or you call ahead of time and you go, let's say the manager or the owner of the boat dealership, his name is Josh, I would call up first and say, hey, Josh, my name's Joe with Pedego Electric Bikes. I'm just wondering, man, this might sound kind of weird, but I'd like to take you out to lunch and ask you a couple of questions about your customers, because obviously I'm not a boat dealer. but I believe that your customer is my customer, and I just want to take you out for lunch and ask you a few questions. Would you be cool? Are you open to getting together for lunch sometime next week? My treat, Wednesday or Thursday, right? Then you show up, and you show up with 2 bikes on the rack, and you take them out for a ride, baby. You smelling what I'm standing in? So now you got a guy who sells high-end products that, you know what? His customer base, you want his fucking list, man. But he's not going to give it to you if you go up to him and say, hey, man, can I have your list? He's going to say, what, are you fucking crazy? But if you say, hey, let's go for a ride. And you might say, well, I'm not dressed for it. Don't show up with, like, biker attire. Show up with, you know, full-on pants, khakis, golf shirt, khakis. It's like, dude, I even brought you a helmet. Come on. Right? No excuse. Let's go. You go for a ride. He has a little bit of fun. And then I guarantee you, I did this at a hotel with Coker Day in Aiken, Pedego Aiken. We had the manager of the hotel ripping. She was about 60 years old and like a really attractive 60, by the way. And she was screaming to all of her staff to come outside and try these bikes. Wow. Yeah, it was a blast. It was a blast. So it just goes to show you that if you take the time to do these types of it's again, what I'm coming to the table of, it's no different than if somebody says, hey, Joe, I want you to come on my podcast. Okay, well, that's great. A lot of people want me to come on their podcast. Like, I've got stuff to do. But if somebody says, hey, Joe, I want you to come on my podcast, and your interview is only going to be 7 minutes. And the benefit for you is I'm going to tell everybody to go and subscribe to or start following you on LinkedIn and Instagram. And I'm going to tell people to join your SOS. And I'm going to tell people that they should buy your book. You know what I mean? Like, okay.
Right. Make it worth your while, of course.
Because people listen to the same radio station. It's called WIIFM. What's in it for me? Right? So what you got to do is instead of, like, don't think about yourself. You talk to these people that, where's my money at? And so the boat dealership, RV dealership. And you go, hey, man, I'd like to take you out for lunch. Then you take them out for lunch and say, tell me about your business, blah, blah, blah. How long have you been doing it for? Shoot the shit. Get to know them a little bit better. It's like, listen, I'm curious. Would you be open for me to have a bike in your place? I don't want anybody doing test rides or anything, just looking at it. And if anybody's ever interested and I actually sell a bike, or if you sell a bike, I'll kick you over something your way and vice versa. Maybe we could put some stuff about your RVs in my place of business. I just want to cross-pollinate with people. And let me buy you lunch. I mean, that kind of stuff starts to, shit starts to happen. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So networking like that, Tom Bach, if you haven't talked to Tom, you could reach out to Tom at Pedego Corporate. He is a master networker. He's the guy who started the idea of owning Pedego stores. He owns the original Pedego Huntington Beach. That's his.
No, I worked with Tom the entire time I was trying to
find a location. Yeah,
he flew down here, and we spent an entire day. No, Tom's a great guy.
Great guy.
Talk to him about
absolutely good stuff. So I'm just letting you know that if you're going to get into networking, like if you go and do a networking event when events start happening again, don't show up with a stack of cards and just start doing the Las Vegas shuffle. Go in with the intent that, hey, I'm just going to go and meet one person today, and then I'm not even going to try to be interesting. I just want to be interested. Ask questions. You go into a networking event and you go, okay, who would be my target? And ask yourself, who is someone who targets my customer? That's it. So if it's somebody who's in high-end auto sales, perfect. Hey, man, how long have you been doing that for? Blah, blah, blah. Tell me about your... And if they say, what do? You could say, I sell electric bikes. Or you could say, oh, I'm the guy that people come to see to feel younger and put a smile on their face. Well, how do you do that? That's a great question. Why don't we set up a time you come over to my place of business for coffee? I'll buy. And then when they come in and they're wearing, a suit, you're wearing your khakis and a golf shirt. It's like, yeah, let's go for a ride. Well, I can't do that. So am I. Let's go. It's a classic, man. You don't have to have coffee in the store. Go for a quick ride around the block. Go to a Starbucks. Buy coffee to these people. It's good networking because these same people, remember, butts on bikes. I'm not trying to sell them a bike.
Right.
I'm trying to get them to just try it. Like I had a phone call earlier with Pedego Chattanooga, and they just started doing the training with me this week. And it's the same thing, you know, like he's got some regular bikes in the store. And I said, everybody who comes in has to try a bike. Like if they're a triathlete and they're dressed in Lycra and they, hey, can I get some air for my tire? Absolutely. All I need you to do is try this electric bike out. I want you to try this Pedego and done. I just want you to ride around the block. It's not for me. Dude, I know it's not for you. I'm going to give you the air for free. I just need you to do something for me. I want you to ride it around the block. Of course, I'm going to get their email address because I'm no dummy. And then it's also 5 questions, or 5 words. Who do you know who? Who do you know who that could love to ride with you? But because, dude, you're a triathlete and you're such a freaking beast, they need an electric bike to keep up with you. Who do you know who that would love to be able to ride a bike to go to work and they won't have pit stains when they get to work? Who do you know who that would love to be able to ride a bike, but because, you know, they have a knee injury, like, I mean, suddenly this person who's a triathlete is going to go, you know, these are good questions. It's not for me, but I get it. And all of these Lycra wearing roadies, all of their friends know that they're cyclists.
Yeah.
So they may not suggest, hey, you should buy this Cervelo or this, you know, Specialized S-Works. It's, you know, I just spent $4,000 on a new Grupo to save 20 grams. Like, that's not our customer. You know, these guys are going to spend thousands of dollars to save on weight. It's just retarded. And I know that's politically incorrect. I apologize. That is insane. I said that on video, so don't put that out in the ether.
Yeah,
I apologize.
My really, really good friend, man, he's a huge cyclist, and he's got well over 10 grand into his mountain bike.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's
dude,
crazy.
we live in Florida. Where the hell do you go ride mountain bikes? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But, you know, they
He's
get
like,
into
oh,
it.
dude, you don't understand, man. You know, but that's
It's
what he
okay.
does. You
Yeah,
got hooked
they
years
love
ago
it.
and-
They love it. That's it. So I talked about congratulate, right? When you ask somebody for the sale, so what do you think? You want to take it? And when they say yes, or if they say no, but if they say the second they give you, yeah, let's do it, congratulations, and then feel free to pull out your quote and go over with everything because you've sealed the deal. Go over the quote with them, congratulate them again, take their money, congratulate them again, and then thank them and appreciate them. Not appreciate it, appreciate them. Congratulations is absolutely critical when they make the buying decision because you're lowering the odds of buyer's remorse. Okay, well, I know I've gone over it with you guys, but it's critically important.
That's fine.
After somebody has made the purchase, so they bought the bike, the money is done. Let's just say at that point they're about to go and they're leaving with their bike. My suggestion is, where did I put my phone? There it is. My suggestion is, hey Steve, you know what? Can you do me a big favor? Can I take a photo of you in front of your new bike? Right? I'll take some photos. Everybody. But sometimes you're going to run into the grinder who says, you know, before you get to the close, and it's like, you know, Josh who says, hey Joe, you know what? This is cool, but what kind of deal can you give me? Well, Josh, I totally appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly do you have in mind? Actually, Josh, I totally appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What is it off the quote that you want to remove that I can save money for you? And then they keep grinding and they remove a couple things and they go, but, you know, I want a better price. What's the lowest price I can get? And we'll do this today. So Josh, you know what? I totally appreciate that you're looking for a good deal. What exactly did you have in mind? And they say, well, can you do this? And it's within this realm of possibility. They're right here. Okay? You can say, so what you're saying is, if I take $200 off your total invoice cost with accessories, no matter how you get there, you're going to do this right now? And they say, yeah. Congratulations. Now, while you're saying congratulations, you can say, here's the thing. I need a few things from you to make this thing work because we're really close. I'm giving you what you're looking for, but I need a few things from you, Josh. Number one, I need for you to give me a written testimonial and a 5-star Google review. Are you prepared to do that for me? I mean, I'm giving you a couple $100 here. I need for you to help me grow my business because this is costing me money. I mean, I've given you $200. Is that okay? Most people are going to go, sure, it costs me nothing. Okay, here's the other thing. I want to ask you, who do you know who? Do you know two? And like, if they're being a-holes to you, I need 5 names, first names only, of people that you know that you're going to text. We're going to do an email, or we're going to do a video, and I'm going to take this video and I'm going to send it over to you, but you're going to text them to all those friends. Like, you can negotiate this before you close the deal. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Those are leads at 0 cost per lead, boys.
Absolutely.
Right? Then what you can say is, I want your permission to take the video that we've done, and I want your permission that I can put it up on all my social media channels. That is YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Instagram TV, TikTok. I mean, it's going up everywhere. LinkedIn, it's going up everywhere. I want your permission. If they say yes, sweet. More content. And then what you do is you take those videos and you give it to whoever, whether you get somebody from Fiverr, Upwork, Free Up, whatever, you get them to do it. The more people more social proof that you get, the more leads you're going to get coming back in. So again, you're going to get 2 to 5 names, first names. You want testimonial letter with a 5-star Google review. You want to be able to post on social media, which is all your social media channels. You want your permission to post. Okay? Does that make sense, guys? Then you do the deal, you do the videos. And I think I showed you that woman in Alpharetta, right? I did 2 videos with her.
Yeah. And
she gave Alpharetta a 5-star Google review, which is great. So congratulate, take photos, take video, permission to post. Then what happens is, usually after you've set somebody up and they've walked away, most stores are going to put people through the warranty registration process right there at the counter. The people are leaving, and you could do that at the end of the business day, or you can do that right away. Personally, if the store is busy, hey man, store shuts at 6. If you've got to stick around for half an hour to be able to do it afterwards, then do it afterwards where it's quiet. Yeah. And I'm a big believer in what's called a buyer form. So after somebody has bought, right, and this is another lead cycles thing, because you got to remember, these people, birds of a feather, flock together. I want to have more of these people coming back in. At first, they were prospects, but now they're customers. There's a difference between a prospect and a customer, and there's a difference in terms of how we speak to them. A prospect is somebody who hasn't given me their money yet. But a customer is somebody who's gotten to know me, gotten to love me enough, to trust me enough to say, dude, I'm giving you thousands of dollars of my money. But if birds of a feather flock together, I want that same person who knows all their friends to be reminded of how good we are and how we've taken care of them. So I'm going to send them continual love and information and infotainment. And so they're going to, and at the end of these infotainment emails is, hey, if you found this good, forward this over to some of your friends and family. And it's all done under behalf of Pedego Tampa.
One of the things I've done on my last couple of sales was we have those little free 1-hour rentals. Yeah. And I've handed it to them, and I say, hey, here's a couple of free hour rentals. You know, if you want to bring someone with you to ride along, you know, you can ride for free. So nice. And in fact, and that's great. In fact, what I would recommend afterwards, and I sent you this when we first started. There's a sequence at the end. So, and I'll show this to you guys. Let me go here and share the screen. So in the Army of One template, right, it's your after sale follow-up. So you put them in the buyer form. Then you would send them an email if you want to personalize it immediately, although lead cycles will do it for you. What you'd want to also do is you want to be able to send out a card. You could do it manually. I use send out cards, right? So like somebody just spent $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 with me. For me to create a card and put a card, you received a card from me already, Steve? Yep. And I send, brownies or whatever to people, a little gift. It just goes a long way. They're usually expecting to see bills in the mail. So if they get something else and it's like a little gift of, hey man, I appreciate you, and people remember they'll forget what you said, forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. But what I would highly suggest is in your calendar or on Google Calendar or in your reminders on your phone, make sure that 7 to 10 days after somebody has had their bike on their own at home, that you call them around dinner time
right? Or right before you close, and all you're doing is just checking in. It's like, hey, Steve, it's Joe over at Pedego Tampa. How you doing this evening? Good. Because they're going to be like, it's like, hey, man, listen, how's the rides going? I got a couple of minutes here, and I just figured I'd check in and see how the rides are going. You having fun? Yeah. Excellent. Now, if there's an issue where they say, yeah, you know what, I'm running into a little bit of a rubbing thing. Well, then perfect. I'm glad I called. I was just checking in to see if everything was good on the bike. You want to set up a time to bring the bike in? We'll take a look at it for you. That's you shining.
Yeah.
On the flip side, it's like, how's everything going? We haven't really ridden it that much, but it's good. Well, good, man. I was just checking in, making sure you're having fun and being safe out there. Listen, don't forget you've got your free tune-up or whatever you choose to do. You should set up a tune-up in the next 30 to 60 to 90 days. I just wanted to make sure everything was good. I look forward to seeing you when you bring your bike in for a tune-up. Be safe out there. Have a good time. See ya. And people are going to hang up and go, that is insane. It took you 6, and you could tell, again, if it's a time vampire customer, oh, it's so good to hear from you. Oh my God. So you got to go, hey, Mr. Jones, I know that I just have a free minute here, so I want to just call real quick and just check in on how you're doing. You know what I mean? So you set the boundary. I got 1 minute. How you doing, man? Awesome. Well, don't forget, you got your tune-up. We're looking forward to seeing you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas because people can go.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Heck yeah. I did it yesterday when Cassidy
awesome.
called. As soon as I hung up with Cassidy, I looked at my wife and I was like, oh, that was cool him calling, He didn't have to do that.
Right.
So, yeah, hell yeah.
So this becomes part of your process. Put all of this stuff in a step-by-step. You know how to greet people. You know how to get people on the bike. You know how to be able to get their information. You know which questions to ask. Butts on bikes, butts on bikes, butts on bikes. Then you're going to run into the objections, right? The big one is, what kind of deal can you give me? Right? That's the biggie. So we went through that on the last call. And then it's close the deal, congratulate, confirm and negotiate what you need, which is more leads, social proof, more posted everywhere. Then it's your follow-up after the sale. And this is where everybody falls off because you don't have time, right? Because you've got all this other shit to do. But if you do follow-up with your existing customers, I promise you'll double your business. It's your best resource. So any store that's been doing 10 bikes a month can get to 20 just with their existing database, right? In the world of email, your fortune's in your follow-up, but the true thing is your gold is in the list. It's people that already know, like, and trust you. That's it, man. And email's not dead. Social media is this. Email is I'm reading it. So that it's And have you guys ever seen Vidyard? Did I ever do I think I did one with you where I sent a little video within the email. It's called Vidyard.
I don't know.
I'll show you what I mean. I had a guy. I had a guy who's in my SOS dojo. No, I'll show this to you. This is I'm totally I'm doing this completely random. So this guy, where is he? It's Daniel. I got a lot going on here. Okay, so Daniel sent me an email today, and this was the email. He said, "Hey Joe," and he did a $7,000 deal. He's a copywriter, and I did a workshop with him, and he's in the SOS dojo, and he showed me exactly what he said. Right? Hey, thanks for letting me know how you feel. What exactly are we comparing it to? And then the guy asked for a deal. This is today. So I sent him an email, and today, 3 hours ago, and I said, "Hey Daniel," and I changed my sweater because I was on a call with another dude, and I used this thing. Can you see my screen up here where I'm rotating it? There's this.
Yeah.
So if I click on this, it's called Vidyard, right? And what will happen is Vidyard will record my screen, and then I can take that recording and embed it into my my emails. So I basically, whoops. All right. So I sent him that video. So if he clicks on it, it goes to Vidyard, and then I don't know if you, Hey, Daniel, I needed to do this video instead of just sending you an email because I am absolutely thrilled to read an email like that from you. To me, this tells me that practice and skills can be learned and can be crushed, and I absolutely love it. I'm proud of you, man. You are deserving of this level of success. Onward and upward, my friend. Stay in touch. I'll see you in the dojo. So Vidyard's free.
That's cool.
Yeah, so you can do little videos like that, and so again, just so you can see it, you can add it to your Google Chrome. It's absolutely free, and this was today. So I did that 3 hours ago, right before my 12 o'clock call. So I finished off with the folks from Chattanooga, and then I checked my email, and there Daniel was. You can go on Vidyard and you can do just quick, like they're not supposed to be real long videos. It's just short enough that you could do it's like doing a video message. So you can do video messaging on Instagram, and it's pretty sweet. So, all right. I'm going over my list of things here, guys. We're pretty close to being done. So we've talked about birds of a feather flock together. Follow-up call, follow-up gift, appreciating your customers. One of the things that I recently shared with, actually, it was Daniel, and I've added this to my list here, is I call it the Easter egg effect. Have you guys ever seen a Marvel movie that at the end, you don't expect, like you now have come to expect that at the end of a movie, you're going to wait till the credits are done so that you can see a little Easter egg and a little... You guys can start creating that with unexpected surprises for your customers. Whether you want to do an in-store event, or if you guys want to be doing like a little surprise in the mail or things like that, this is what's going to separate you. And again, it doesn't have to be an expensive gift. You could do a Vidyard video 2 weeks after the fact, and it's like, hey, Jane, hey, Jim, it's Josh and Steve here over at Pedego Tampa. We just want to make sure everything's doing okay. We just thought we'd make you this really cool video. Hope to see you soon. That's it. Because when people see that the movement, and that's why I usually use this in one of those videos. I'll write a little something like, hey, Steve, or hey, Josh, and I'll turn it, I'll do this, and it becomes animated, so people will click on it. It's one of my little guerrilla marketing tactics.
I'm actually going to do that to our marketing folks here, because in my lease, I pay 1% to marketing for the entire village. Shops pay it, and they're constantly sending out email blasts and promoting this and doing that and whatnot. I'm going to send her a little video saying, hey, I came across this Vidyard. What do you guys think about, offering these to all of the stores, and then once a week, each store can present their own little video and blast it out to all the customers.
Yeah,
it's free. It won't hurt.
Vidyard is free. So the video is recorded right here off of your computer live. So it's brilliant.
Nice.
How do you guys feel about the training that we've done over the last, it's basically been this is week 3?
Yeah, week 3.
Now, we were supposed to have 6 sessions. Do you guys want to get together? Because we missed last week. Do you guys want to try to get together for one more and practice? I'd like to see you guys literally like sell to me a bike, literally as if I walked in the store. You practice handling objections, closing. I want to feel 100%.
Yeah.
So do you guys want to try to set up another time?
That's fine. Yeah, we don't have to go. Yeah. We don't got to go 2 hours, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have to do 2 hours. I just want to make sure that you guys are listen. I mean, So here's the challenge that I've got. I'm literally booked solid on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the next 3 weeks. So I'm free. I've got a reasonably open. It's kind of bizarre, but I'm open tomorrow, and I'm open on Monday the 29th. I've got a 2 p.m. dojo on the 29th Central, which is 3 p.m. your time. So I'm open in the mornings. And then actually tomorrow I'm free because I had a guy who's postponed his call with me. So
What time tomorrow?
It's your world, baby. You tell me.
Josh, what you got going on tomorrow, man?
We do 1 hour. We'll do an hour. I just want to make sure you guys I want to give you value.
Just work till 12. That's it. Other job.
Let's do. We do 1 o'clock again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wait, you're
Josh?
coming here. You're coming here tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need you here tomorrow.
Okay.
Are you guys okay for maybe like 30 to 45 minutes? We don't have to go long. You can take everything that I gave you, and we're just gonna practice it. You guys are doing the work. I'm gonna be shutting up tomorrow. It's all you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do 1 o'clock. I just don't want to. I don't want to be. I don't know if I'm contagious or not, so I don't want to be around. I wear a mask, Josh, but I'll go home or something. And
you know what? If anything, I mean, Josh, bring a can of Lysol and Clorox, and honestly, man,
we actually have that in the store.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just got to be smart about it. Absolutely. So do that. Yeah, wipe everything down, bro, and wear a mask. It's all good. So okay, so 1 o'clock your time.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Okay. So yeah, for sure. So what I'll do is I'll email you once we're done. I'll let this recording get processed. I'll send you the stuff on the custom trike, and then tomorrow, 45 minutes to an hour. I just want to be, guys. I mean, I've had a blast working with you, and know this tomorrow. Tomorrow, I mean, I practice what I preach. I'm gonna put you guys on the spot, and I'm gonna ask you how the training went, and if you think other Pedego stores or other retailers or anybody else would get value from my training. So I'm gonna with your permission, I'd like to put that up on all my social media channels.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey man,
definitely.
You gotta ask, right?
Yeah.
If you don't ask, you don't get.
That's right.
All right, guys. Well, then I'll see you guys tomorrow at 1 o'clock your time, 12 o'clock my time. Have yourselves a good night.
Sweet.
Sir.
Hey guys, thanks a lot. Great work today.
Yep. Bye.